Exercise 13. Imagine you are playing white and it's your turn. What do you play? Now to the solution. First of all, there is no tactical solution for white in this position, but it doesn't mean there are no lines to calculate. So for white, if you check the active moves, then none of them are any good. For example, queen h7 is lost, rook h6 is lost, queen to d5 is lost. Rook takes c5 might be doable, but it doesn't give us any benefit, so we can go to the positional, treatment of the position. And then I was hoping that you would do the same mistake that white did in this position, and he simply castled, which is usually a good move, obviously, but the issue is that you always need to check for active moves. And black has a really strong one here, and it is the move bishop to c4. It simply attacks both of white pieces. White cannot take the bishop because also the queen is under attack. So that means that white has to exchange the queens first, but then the bishop is still attacking two pieces at the same time. White at least loses the exchange and thereafter the game. So the whole exercise for you was to, show you this way of thinking and that it might cost you the game. If you see the option for black, then there is an easy solution. You just exchange the rooks first, and after bishop c5 you can now castle, or a bit more precise, but that doesn't matter anymore, to play knight c3, just in case if you want to keep your king in the middle for the endgame. But the most important point in this position is that you always need to look for the active moves of your opponents. In this case, I didn't ask whether the castle is any good. Then you might have thought that it is a trap and you need to calculate lines, but instead you should ask yourself before any move that you play, is it any good? So as in the earlier exercises, do it for all of your future games. Position number 14, it's black to move. Now to the solution. This is a game between European Union Chess Championship under 10 years. And here black continued, which is a great move so far, with knight c2 check. White continued with king to f2, and if you have gotten so far, well, then you still have to make a decision what do you do on the next move. And black played in this position the move knight takes a1, and he was probably happy of winning a rook. Most certainly he didn't even look for white's answer, since, well, there's not many moves that white can possibly play in this position, but certainly the active moves are one of the possibilities, and since there are no checks, there's only one interesting capture, and it is the move pawn takes g6. The issue right now is that white has a mate on e7, and in case black tries to defend it, for example with queen to c7, then the rook will be taking with a check. So in the end, black is in huge trouble here, and that's quite easy to evaluate actually. The continuation was queen to b6 check, and after just any move, black was forced to take the bishop on b4, because anything else results in a fast mate. After rook takes h8, the queen is still attacked by the pawn, so it doesn't make sense to run away. So queen to f8, and the result was this mate in the end. The whole mistake was in this position not to be able to see the threats that white has in this position. And if black would have spotted it, then the easy solution is actually just to take the bishop. And certainly exchanging knight for a bishop is less material gain than just winning a rook, but winning a rook loses you the game. Therefore, maybe you should take the bishop. And if you actually count the material, then black is simply ahead. Just for example, a really simple line. You play knight to e7, although you don't even have to move the knight because the pawn is pinned for real in this case. And after queen take g7, you can thereafter finish the game or continue with queen to b6, queen takes b4. It's an easy game for black. Obviously it's still unclear and complicated, but black is ahead. He has 2 pawns advantage, and white is in a lot of trouble. And instead, black was lost immediately after just one move.